So today we are looking at the second team as well as the first team put together for the Fut Immortals. Now, obviously a lot of them are going into the topper category, or at least into the very usable. I don't think that's really a question. But the big thing today is the babies are actually coming in pretty well. The Henri's, SBC, the Eusebio. We've even got a Luis Hernandez as a great player objective that you can complete. And if you look at someone like Rooney's baby, could it be a potential striker in the future and rather miss out on the million coin striker and wait for the baby to get an evolution? Because that's the one thing that they obviously know, that evolutions this year have taken off massively. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. We have got so many top end ones, from obviously the Immortality one that they've given us that's a 94. If you think about that, we've got a 94 Immortality, a 94 Striker, a 94 Right Wing from the Team of the Year blueprint, I believe a 92 or 93 Team of the Year Daily Star, which was the centre back, as well as then even still now a 91 attacking Avalanche. Half of the team is in evolutions, let alone that when you look at someone like the Rooney card. If we go into his base version at literally, 20k at this point, 28,000 coins. I know this one has missed out right now, but we know that Zola could have gone into it. You could have made him into a 94 striker with the Strike Force evolution. Now, obviously, they've kind of let that expire, maybe to stop Rooney getting into that, but realistically, when you look at this card versus the 93 that he's got, there isn't necessarily a great deal of difference, to be honest, and you'd probably argue you'd prefer the 94 Strike Force, and you'd save yourselves 860k for doing it. Granted, you'd have obviously put in the price for Strike Force, but you could do that with points at least if you didn't want to necessarily put the coin value in. Now, obviously, when we look at some of the top players, you look at the likes of the Henri's, they are absolutely incredible. We see then R9, we see Pele. They are some of the most extinct cards that you'll see. You've obviously got the two here in 97 and 96 Pele and R9. They are incredible for many, many reasons. Now, obviously, Pele being the brand new one, still coming in at 15 million, which is just crazy. And it's quite funny because we did a review on the review channel. Go check that out, leave it in the description. He's funny because obviously now he's got the low driven shot, but realistically he's not got too much that is shoot and play style. Plus, like, he's never had a finesse shot, he's never had a quick step, and yet he's still that good. That's the bit with Pele that just mind boggles me, that he's unfortunately not a 5-star. I think that really could have been, but stats wise he's just up there, and ability, he's just the same as everybody else. He's incredible. Whereas R9 is R9. He's quite clearly the first or second best striker in the game. That you can't really decide between the two. I personally would fall into the Mbappe category, but R9 is just as good. He's 15 mil extinct for a reason. So them two are non-negotiable. You know they are the top of the top. When then we look at some of the others, like obviously if we go into the heroes next, there's some decent ones. And I do think the heroes have definitely been shafted a little bit here. And I kind of don't know why we got so many icons, but so little heroes. Whether the next promo that we're getting, because apparently there is one in between this and Team of the Season still. It's got a weird greeny black design, but whether that's going to be the hero portion of it, and maybe we get a couple of icons and it does the full switch, that'll be the interesting part. But when we go into these, there's not necessarily a great deal of top end talent other than Ginola. I think Ginola's most definitely needed an upgrade massively since the track star. He got the 90. It's a very good card. He's now in evolution kind of point of view with that 90. This is a good upgrade. The only thing is, for me, he's not a striker in this card. As much as you can still play him there, the incisive, the press proven, the technical, it is kind of more cam related, more so than a striker. So if you do want the Ginola striker-esque card, you're going to have to wait for another upgrade, because there's no point putting an incisive pass press proven left mid cam up front compared to some of the cards that we have got. So I think in terms of cam, he comes in very well. He's obviously 2.5 mil. I mean, when we're looking at the kind of top end sort of players, like you got to think between Ginola and Pele, I don't think there's any question. Granted, there's about 13 million between them. When we look at them, it's always an interesting one. Now, I'm personally a big fan of Ginola anyway. I just prefer the striking version of him, like the Shapeshifter 98. That was always kind of my gig with him. When we look at the rest of them then, I think you could go with Bon Pastor. I think she's a very good card in that role. Obviously then the rest, not a fan of Beasley in this, to be honest. I think the left mid, he's very standard. There's nothing too crazy about him. Even his 88, which is down here, in the left back role, again, you've gone the long ball throw. I mean, that playstyle plus is just there for a gimmick. It's there as a placeholder. I personally would miss out on that one hard. Anyone with the long ball throw, I'm not doing it, because even if I wanted to evolve them later on, I know I've got to have that. So even if we do get to a quadruple, there's always going to be a better left back without it. So unfortunately, he will be dropped out for that. I think you could get away with a Beasley. I'd go more usable more than anything. I think Bon Pastor's left back as the 90, would I really use her? That's going to be the big question. I just think she's a nice card. Like, obviously this card is going to be a lot better, but even then quite cheaper. I'd probably miss out on her as well. I don't even think the Evo would help. I'd miss out on the Russian. Mascherano as centre-back, I'd go usable, and I think El Jabba could get a little bit about him, but nothing too crazy. I think he'd be right now just usable because he's got that triple play style plus, he's got the brand new upgrade, and that would kind of be about it. When we do look at also the kind of first team that we got, obviously the keeper would be in the bog standard. I think the baby versions, love Bale. I think he's most definitely up there in at least very usable. Zola with an evolution is fantastic. Blanc with another evolution is fantastic. Probably miss out on Zanetti. Like I said, a keeper wouldn't necessarily get my vote. Love Zambrotta. There's quite a lot of top end ones that I kind of like. Keeper, I'm just not a big fan of. Like I said, with Bale, he's got to be up there in the very usable. Then if we're looking further down, if we're trying to find the other baby versions, you've obviously got Nedved. Oh, was Nedved? Nedved was the... Oh yeah, Nedved was this week. I'd probably miss him. I quite like his 94, so we will go through that. Obviously then we've got the likes of Zanetti, I'd miss, and then Zola would definitely go into that Evo. I think, to be fair, kind of like Rooney, he's definitely usable. Like, I mean, you'd force him because there's a lot of good strikers, but he's usable. But I will put for the point of view of this one, I'd go in Evos because they're very close to getting into it. Whereas Beasley and Mascherano, you're going to be waiting a while still. Same with El Jabba. Like, you're not going to put the first 90 evolution into El Jabba. You're going to pick somebody else. I'd even say you'd probably miss out on him more so than you would actually evolve him. Then we have a few of the extras. We've got the big cards coming in, obviously. So you've got the likes of the Zanetti 93. I thought most of them were pretty decent. Like, obviously, Zambrotta as a right back was outstanding. As a right back, he's brilliant. Then, obviously, you got the Bale. It's obvious. And then we've got the Blancs. I'd probably still go Blanc there. I mean, you could argue when we're thinking of centre-backs, is he going? Yeah, I would. I really, at the minute, I think he would, just because of the triple. He will drop down very quickly. Like I say, when Team of the Season comes out and everybody gets their upgrades with the triple playstyle plus, that card is going to be halved in price. At the minute, he's 822. So even then, that is going to be halved easily when we get a Virgil van Dijk with the triple, a more accessible one. Obviously then Saliba and all of them start to get them as well, and many others of the community ones. Then that's just going to go straight in there anyway. We then have Henry. I personally love Henry in this. I think he is absolutely brilliant. Both versions of him, I would say the same for Eusebio as well. Their SBCs are incredible. Now, obviously, most of them will go into Team of the Season now, especially Icons. I think Eusebio had 2 months to grind him out, so you were going to see him for the majority, if not all, of Team of the Season. So you've got a lot of time to grind him out, so he's going to be more than easy to do. Gerrard would go into the very usable. We'd then have Matthias, Nedved again in this left mid. And I think that is all. 93 Zola. Obviously, Beckenbauer. Oh, we got the 2 Beckenbauers, in fact. I mean, that's kind of another one. For me, I don't think I'd go centre-back with him, to be honest. Being 5'11", we know that obviously Cannavaro can do it, and we've seen other centre-backs that are not necessarily 6-foot giants rock the centre-back role, but the fact that he can play DM, long ball pass, the jockey, the anticipate, I think is a match made in heaven for it, to be honest. I do think that is going to be the one. You could even throw the engine on him just to get a bit more versatility in the midfield. I think that would be the position I'd go for, even with the 96 centre-back. I don't know if I would play him in the centre-back role, even the 93. It's obviously clearly that he's got that role added on. Obviously the 96 is going to have more stats everywhere, but the long ball pass, the jockey and the intercept, you could argue between both of them. They're very, very usable cards in that CDM role for me. So I don't know if I'd possibly go the 96 in the top meta and the 93 would drop down a little bit just from a slight standpoint of stats, but I'd say the intercept might be better in the DM role than the anticipate, but both of them have very heavy uses, so it's kind of hard to say which one I would not prefer to have as such. Which then leaves us into Team 2. So this is, again, a bigger upgrade. We obviously got a few of the familiar faces. One card that I'm really interested in seeing in a potential Evo will be this 90 card. 68,000, can play the centre mid CDM, block and bruiser. I mean, like you can see, like, obviously 2 million is not... Matthias is most definitely still Matthias in terms of his in-games are incredible, but we have so many cards that can do the exact same. That is why it's not 5, 6, 7 mil. And it's why most of them are not 4, 5, 6, 7 mil continuously for weeks. They are dropping down massively. But that is going to be a cracking Evo card in the future. Mark my words, some of these, if you could go ahead and see the foresight of putting 68k on him, or packing him, say for instance, if you've managed to get him there, and just hold out for him, that could be a fantastic Evo card in the future. We then run through a few more. Obviously, we'll go through the top end ones. Obviously, Matthias, the Maldinis, the Jarzinhos are all going to be incredible in this top end. I don't think there's any question beyond belief with some of them. Then obviously the Mia Hams as well. They are some of the best cards that we've got because that's the point. They are gearing up the icons ready for Team of the Season. And you look at the likes of Mia Hamm with a 5-5, quick step, press proven, power shot. It's a shame she didn't get the finesse, but still had the ability to get it with the quadruple. Zico was the only one that I felt like he could have had a bit better of a glow up, but it's still Zico. Like, we know he's still very good. He's like Pele. It kind of doesn't matter what he's got. He has got the incisive at the minimum, so that's kind of all I need in a cam. Eusebio, obviously, with incredible playstyle pluses. Jarzinho, again, very much like Zico, little bit underwhelming. Once Team of the Season comes, that card will drop massively, but for right now, it doesn't matter. He's got the upgrade. I'd even go as far to say Zabile looks very good. Incisive, tiki-taka, and intercept. She's kind of just that backup option, just unfortunately. And then pretty much most of the rest are going to be in that sort of zone. They're going to be in that very usable. They're not going to break into that top meta, but they are most definitely still very, very good players. I'd then go with Hernandez into that zone. Nedved definitely redeemed himself, I must admit, because when we saw that 89 and there was no other option, he was obviously coming as an SBC, because that version is just, it's woeful. As much as you can add an evolution to him, why would you want to? Whereas this version, I must admit, isn't that bad, to be honest. 312, plenty of time to grind him out if you want. I think they definitely redeemed an arc on him at least. Smith, always been fantastic. Rooney as well. And then the baby Zambrotta, again, another option that you could go with as a potential Evo in the future. He's obviously coming in relatively cheap. He has already got a few upgrades that you can go with, whether you'd want to do that right now or wait out a little bit. He has got the quick step and intercept and incisive, so I would suggest waiting for at least a defensive playstyle plus to add to it. But there could be a nice Evo in the future, so that's going to be personally where I would go. I'd even possibly go with these as they're 90s. They're going to be there very, very soon. So let me know down below what you think about the team. Hopefully we do get to Team of the Season relatively quick. I don't know if I want another promo in between, but we should see some big SBCs still coming very, very soon. And just got to keep grinding until we get there. Peace.